What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS here to bring that NBA prop video. I know I don't do this too often, but I did some digging, did some research, and really am enjoying some of these props that I found for today's slate. They're all going to be fantasy point props, so if you guys like some of these and you want to put them into your 6 picks or your 5 picks, if you guys don't have a Prize Picks account, you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys can definitely play this over on Prize Picks. I know Underdog offers fantasy point props as well. Definitely check that out if some of these props can correlate and you can play those over there instead. But definitely check them out. And if you want to use some of the alternate lines, such as their fantasy, not their fantasy points, but the points, their rebounds, their assists, definitely go ahead and do that. But hopefully you guys do enjoy the process, the breakdown, everything that I give you for these props, and you guys actually can use them as well. Like I said, today is the Cyber Monday thing for Prize Picks. So right now, if you opt into the promo, go to your promo tab, this tab right here. They have promos. Oh, I can't get into it right now, but just click the promo tab right there up at the top, and you will be able to see to opt in to the Cyber Monday deal where you will get 30x on your 6 pick if it goes 6 for 6. That's going to be the goal today. So that's why I'm going to give you guys 6 fantasy point props that I really do like for today. All right, so first play for me is going to be Kawhi Leonard over 37.5 fantasy points. Now, reason why I do like this play is because Denver's given up an average of 35.1 fantasy points to opposing power 4 stars. They are on the second leg of a back-to-back, and I understand we're looking at a big 3, big 4, depending on what you want to call it over there for the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard's have taken a dump. Not necessarily. Kawhi still is going to go out there and get his. And also what he brings at the defensive side. You're not going to have to deal with Aaron Gordon defense. The block and steal upside is definitely there for him. And as long as he gets his offense going, he's going to actually go out there and do what he does. He hasn't played too great on back-to-backs yet. Anyway, it's been, almost 2 years since the guys actually played back-to-backs. When I look at the numbers for opposing power forwards that have a decent usage rate, such as Kawhi Leonard, they've done very well. Victor Wembanyama, 59.75 fantasy points yesterday. Jabari Smith Jr., 41.75 fantasy points. Paolo, 41. Isaiah Stewart, low usage power forward, but 31 fantasy points. Evan Mobley, high usage power forward, 40 fantasy points. Zion Williamson, 42. And I just really feel like this number right here is just too low. Now, I understand Kawhi, he played against him earlier in the season and only dropped 30 fantasy points there in that position. But of course, that was more the transition, trying to get James Harden going. And I feel like they've gotten that better over the last couple of games. And when I look at his projection over here on number 5, which you can use to compare your stats, your numbers, or whatever it is that you're going to use, he's projected for 40.1 fantasy points. So right now, getting a value and a steal for that prop play right there. But Kawhi Leonard over 37.5 fantasy points is going to be my first play. Now, next play for me is going to be Miles Turner. If you guys watched my DFS breakdown, which should be up on site for you guys to go ahead and check that out. Miles Turner, I already talked about it. He's in a high-paced game going up against the Portland Trail Blazers, who have given up a ton of fantasy points to opposing centers going up against them, averaging 38.7 fantasy points, which is already, as you can see, 3 fantasy points lower than what they have him projected at right now at that 35 fantasy point tag. When you look at the opposing centers that have gone up against him, Brook Lopez, 37, Kelly Olynyk, 34, Yusuf Nurkic, 44, Anthony Davis, 51, John Collins, 39, Anthony Davis again, 62. Miles Turner, the block merchant, the block machine that he is, he could definitely go over this himself with just blocks, rebounds, and a couple points all on his own. I definitely do expect this to be a pretty close and back and forth game in regards to the pace that the Pacers do play with, and just the upside is going to be there with him. He went over this 1 out of 2 games last season when they did play against Portland, dropping 37 and 32 fantasy points, but that was only in 28 minutes. And right now, so far on the season, that's roughly about the minutes that he's averaging. As long as he keeps himself out of foul trouble, definitely do feel like this is a spot in a position, kind of like that Detroit game that he could definitely go over, especially going up against the likes of DeAndre Ayton, who is not the best defensive player out there. I really do like the upside that we are going to have in this position, this spot for him playing. Oh my gosh, big news. Nikola Jokic is going to be listed as he's out. He is not playing tonight. That is huge. That is big. Next player up for me is going to be Jordan Poole, who his fantasy score actually has taken a bump in regards since I first looked this up, but he was at 29 fantasy points earlier. Now he's been bumped up to 30.5, so we've seen a 1.5 bump in regards to it, but I still feel like he's going to be too low in regards to what he can actually give us here in this position and spot. And also, really quick to go back, Miles Turner, he's projected for 37 fantasy points, which is 2 more than what they have him listed over on Prize Picks right now. And then going back to Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole right now, 30.5. Expect him to play. I expect him to play in a game going up against Detroit, who have given up roughly about 30 fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. And over the last couple of games, since he got called out on the internet in regards to his lackluster demeanor, not paying attention to what the team is trying to do, just off-ball-ish, struggles, whatever you want to call it, he has stepped up over the last couple of games and has delivered really with some really great fantasy point production, dropping 34, 39, and 42 fantasy points in his last several games that he has played. So definitely do like the upside, especially in a game going up against Detroit. We do expect it to be fast-paced, low defense in these games. And opposing shooting guards playing up against them. Bruce Brown, 28.5 fantasy points. KCP, 33 fantasy points. KCP, 33. OG Anunoby, 23 fantasy points. Max Strus, 42 fantasy points. Zach LaVine, 28 fantasy points. But the upside is going to be there for Poole. We already know it's the Poole and Kuzma show, and Poole is finally living up to that pool party hype that we really had towards the start of the season in regards to him. But I got Jordan Poole for over 30.5 fantasy points. And going over to Number Fire, where we look at it, Jordan Poole right now, he's projected for 34 fantasy points. So that's still, what, 3.5 less than what he's projected for over here on Prize Picks. Next play that I like, and I know this is going to be a little strange, but Asir Thompson. Now, I kind of can go two ways with two different runbacks in regards to this game. Asir Thompson or Cade Cunningham, both of them are in really great spots. I do like the upside for Cade today. I got him projected for a double-double with his points and assists. As long as he keeps himself out of foul trouble and he just goes and does what he should do in this matchup, please do that. Asir, 32.5 fantasy points, the steal and block upside, and the rebound and assist upside that this kid has. If he just puts it together a little bit in regards to his actual scoring, that'll really help a ton in regards to what he can actually go out here and get us. But a matchup like this going up against the Washington Wizards, this should be a no-brainer for a player like Asir, who actually is a stat sheet stuffer in regards to what he can do. Now, opposing small forwards going up against Washington, it's been hit or miss in regards to what they've done. DeAndre Hunter, 29 fantasy points. Chris Middleton, 34 fantasy points. Derek Jones Jr., 36. And Scotty Barnes, 45. Which Scotty Barnes, to me, is kind of the same archetype of what we can see Asir Thompson do, but less in regards to the scoring. Now, I know when you look at his last five, it's not pretty. It's not beautiful at all. I'm expecting more towards this Atlanta game, not the exact 51, but at least 35 fantasy points that I feel like he can get us here in this position, this spot. And his projection right now, he is projected for 34.1 fantasy points. So still projected for a little bit more than what he's projected over here at Prize Picks for 32.5. Really do like the upside for him now. If you don't like looking at us here, definitely don't mind going over to Cade Cunningham, who himself as well, he's projected a little bit too low in regards to what he can go out here and give us. 39.5 fantasy points when I do got Cade projected for over 40 fantasy points here in this position spot. So definitely don't mind if you want to go with the higher usage player in regards to Cade Cunningham instead of Asir Thompson. Next play on the dock is going to be none other than Anthony Davis. Now, I know going up against Joel Embiid wouldn't exactly want to target with opposing centers, but opposing centers have actually had really great games going up against Embiid. Chet Holmgren last game out, 51.5 fantasy points. Rudy Gobert, 37.75, and he's a low usage center. Jared Allen dropped 47.25 fantasy points. Clint Capella, 39.25 fantasy points. Al Horford, 40.5 fantasy points. Miles Turner, 36.75 fantasy points. So pretty decent output from opposing centers who don't have the high usage like what Anthony Davis himself actually has. Right now, he's sitting at 48 fantasy points. I do like the over for him here in this position and spot going up against Embiid and the 76ers. The rebound should definitely be there. In the one game that he did play going up against Embiid last year, he dropped 54 fantasy points going up against Embiid. And then right now, he is projected over here for 50.6 fantasy points, which is 2.6 more than what he is listed over on Prize Picks. Really do like the value there in that position spot. Definitely another place you can take. So you guys can take all those plays that I just went ahead and listed right there, mix them up, maybe take a power two, whatever it is that you like. Hopefully these plays will help you guys and can go into a 6-pick or a 5-4-2, whatever you want to run on today. But definitely make sure you guys check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus over on Prize Picks and run a couple of these plays. Let me know if you guys use them. Good luck. Peace.